So why don't you start us off with 22, 21, and 20 on your list?
Okay, I'll read off the players and then I'll kind of just talk about it a little bit. But 22 for me, I went Obed Vargas. 21 for me, I went Stipe Buke. And 20 for me, I went Owen Wolf. So I think it's a pretty young list of guys here.
Well,
Vargas
yeah, it's
and
it's a it's an under 22 list. Of
I
course, it's a
meant I meant within the under 22 bubble. Two of them 18. Stipe Buke, I think, is 20. I think all of them have pretty decent potential. Let me see where I ranked them really quick. Yeah, I mean, I ranked all of them pretty well in potential. I think Stipe Buke is the one that I had highest in current ability. I think that experience in Europe definitely helped elevate him a little bit more for me. A bit surprised to not see him on their 22 under 22 list. I thought he had a lot of hype going into the season, and maybe it wasn't the best season, but I think there was still enough hype that a little surprised that he wasn't around the mix, but not terribly surprised. I mean, I only have him at 21. Uh, I was a bit surprised to see no Obed Vargas. He was number 15 on the list last year, 1,300 minutes again this year. I am a bit surprised that he didn't make the listing again, but I know it probably wasn't the best season, but he seemed to be pretty solidly ranked. I mean, pretty average, I would say. But I mean, average across the league at 18 years old, I think is pretty good potential. And then Owen Wolf, kind of the same thing. I think the most minutes in the 2023 season across the three of them, a pretty average, solid rating. But again, for someone that's 18 years old, I think that's a really good sign of good potential for them. So that's my three for 22 to 20.
I will tell you that my 21 before I switched it was Stipe Buke, so we were close. We almost had it.
If you didn't switch it, we had it.
That is true. Um, so I'm going to start this off with a hop.
Oh
At
boy, here we
at
go.
22, Cade Cowell. At 21, Georgios Koutsias from Chicago, and at 20, Azeel Jackson from St. Louis. So I'm going to start with the
I know
hop.
you love Azeel Jackson.
I do, bro. The dude's a baller. Anyways, I'm going to start with Cade Cowell because it's controversial because MLS had him at 8, and I'm just not sold on him. He's been hyped like this for years with rumored moves to Barcelona and other big names. And each year, I think he gets less and less production. He was in the national team and was average against really average opponents. And then he tallied 1 goal and 2 assists in 1,500 minutes as a wide player. Like, sure, he's got like this big athletic build and he's attacking, but they don't get anything out of it. I think last year he had 4 and 4 and he got worse. I don't get the hype. I would love. So here's the thing: I'd love for him to turn into this superstar freak athlete, 10 goal, 12 assist guy, because that's just good for the national team. It's good for the league. You know, he goes out, he goes get whatever, but he's not getting there. And unless he's got something big coming out in the next couple of months, really, he's running out of time to be a U22 kid. I don't get the hype at Cade personally. At 21, I got. Do you want to say something to that, or are you gonna?
um, I'll reserve judgment because I'll talk a bit more about him when he comes up on my list.
Okay. Does it anger you? Did I
Not
did I
at all.
spark some feelings?
Nope.
Good.
Not
All
even
right.
close.
That is what I'm glad because I'm gonna be honest with you. I was real close just completely keeping him off my list, but I felt like I had to put him on
That would have been great. We could have
because
clipped it, although people probably wouldn't have even realized that I
no,
should
and,
have said
and like I
something.
said, it's not like I'm missing the guy that I had to put on because I made this list and ran off to training and definitely forgot somebody that should have been on there. Like if I left him off the list, like you just mentioned, nobody cares because he's just not doing the job. Anyways, at 21, Giorgio Koutsias. This guy I'm kind of big on. I think he's going to be really, really decent for them. U22 signing, Greek international. Chicago's been bad in front of goal. Let's be real. But in 900 minutes, he's got 3 goals and an assist, and he's just 19 years old. I think you see him make a much more focused starting role in 2024, and he's going to be a big part of Chicago's playoff run. I look forward to watching him. He got on this list because of what I expect him to be in 3 years. And as you mentioned, I love me some Aziel Jackson, Minnesota. And it hurts me to say this about Minnesota. You know it does. But they are going to be kicking themselves for letting this guy go. He hasn't really made the impact that other players have made on the list. 21 years old. He's created 18 chances for the top of the West expansion side, 17th among U22 players that I analyzed. And I think I was analyzing close to 50 of them. But what isn't captured in stats is when you watch him play, the way that he's running onto the ball through spaces with so much confidence at such a young age. I think he plays a really big role in St. Louis next year. So he rounds off my just out of the top 20.
Did you know he qualifies for this list by 3 days?
Love it. Love it. Hook into my veins.
Just made it.
Love it.
What's the
All right.
next
Do
section
you
we're
have
doing?
any reserve judgments there or
Now Giorgio's just missed an honorable mention for me, and honestly, I completely forgot about Jackson.
wow, disrespect?